Now let's turn our attention to concentration. So what is concentration? So we can think of it as a fraction with the amount of stuff in the numerator and the volume in the denominator. And I think it's really important, and I want you to carry this on all the way through your lives, to keep writing the units. I just want to write that there so you keep it in your mind, and that's really going to help you keep track of what's going on as you do these calculations. So I want to talk about two different flavours today in this video. So here, first of all, if we have molecules dissolved in water, so that would be a concentration in something like grams per litre. So if we dissolved some salt in water, we'd have a number of grams of salt in a certain volume, which would be measured in litres, not in decimeters cubed, as you may have done in your chemistry A level. We prefer to use litres. So this would be something like 5 grams per litre of NaCl. So that means 5 grams of salt for 1 litre of water. Sorry, for 1 litre total volume. And the really important thing to remember is that this proportion of weight and volume stays the same even if volume is not equal to 1 litre. So we can think of, for example, if we've got a different volume, then we're kind of changing the denominator of the fraction, and so we have to change the numerator in kind. It's kind of the same thing as changing the denominator of a fraction. So if we've got this 5 grams per litre solution of NaCl, that therefore in 2 litres, for example, we can have this idea. So we've got 5 grams 1 litre, and we want to know 2 litres, so we're multiplying that by 2, but then we've got to multiply the top by 2 as well, so that the whole expression stays the same, because this proportion needs to remain the same. So that would give us 10 grams in 2 litres, or 10 grams in 2 litres. And the way I prefer to do these calculations is in the following manner. So I would say if we've got 5 grams in 1 litre, and then I like to use little arrows, and we're going to 2 litres. So we need to multiply by 2, and therefore we need to multiply the mass as well by 2, and that gives us, do that in black, 10 grams in 2 litres. So same idea here, so therefore in 10 millilitres, so that's 1/100th of a litre, isn't it? Because there are 1,000 millilitres in a litre. So if we've got 5 grams in 1 litre, we want to know how much there is in 0.01 litres, then we times by 0.01 on the top and the bottom, or we could divide by 100 the top and the bottom. But the important thing is that we keep this proportion the same, as I said, and so 5 times 0.01 is 0.05 grams. So keep writing the units all the way through. I could do this my other way, my preferred way. So if we've got 5 grams in 1 litre, and we want 0.01 litre, then here we've got to divide by 100, and so this we also have to divide by 100, so that gives 0.05 grams. So this works out the same. Alright, so that's your chemicals. And the other thing we might be dealing with is bacterial cultures. So we'd have that in cells per milliliter, probably, for example. It might be cells per microliter, different volume. Let's just work with cells per mil for now. this might be a bacterial culture or a different sort of cell culture. Let's just go with bacteria. So here let's have an example of 500 cells per mil, which is a very low cell concentration actually, but never mind. So that means 500 cells for every 1 milliliter total volume. And again, the proportion of cells in a given volume stays the same. So exactly the same. So let's just do an example. So let's say in 10 milliliters of this culture, so if we've got 500 cells in 1 mil, excuse me, in 1 milliliter, and we want in 10 milliliters, so this is 10 is 10 times bigger than 1, so we have to do 10 over 10. This is because this keeps the proportion the same, so that gives us 5,000 cells in 10 milliliters. And just the same as before, so if we've got 500 cells in 1 milliliter and we want 10 milliliters, then we have to multiply this by 10, multiply this by 10 as well. I really like the little arrows, and you'll see this throughout the year. So then 5,000 cells in 10 mils. And let's just do one final example. So let's say in 0.5 mils, so if we've got 500 cells in mil, we want 0.5 mils. So then that's the same as saying 0.5 over 0.5. So that gives us 250 cells. And just the same, if we've got 500 cells in 1 mil, let's do the little arrows, that's 0.5 mil. So then we're dividing that by 2. I think it's quite intuitive really. And then we divide this by 2 also. So again, so that's 250 cells in 0.5 milliliters.